Today we are going to talk about the concept of estimation. And estimation is finding the number that is close enough to the actual answer. But in order to understand this concept of estimation, we need to know the rounding rule. And the rounding rule is 4 or less, let it rest, 5 or more, raise the score. So I'm going to do a couple examples with you in order to put this rounding rule into practice. So we are going to round the following numbers to the nearest 10. Okay, so the first one we're going to do is going to be the number 27. So the first thing we need to do is find the place value for each number. So the place value for 7 is the ones place, and the place value for 2 is the tens place. Now we need to focus on the number that is directly to the right of the number that is in the tens place, which in this case is 7. And now this is where the rounding rule comes into play. So we know that 7 is greater than 5. So, and according to the rounding rule, 5 or more raise the score. So that means that we are going to add 1 to the number that's in the tens place, and we get 3. And the number that is boxed in is always automatically going to turn into a 0 because we are rounding to the nearest 10. Now the second example is going to be 32. So the first thing we're going to do is find the place value for each number, and the place value for 2 is the ones place, and the place value for 3 is the tens place. And now that we know that we need to focus in on the number that is directly to the right of the number in the tens place, which is the ones, which is in the ones place, which is the 2, we know that now we're going to use the rounding rule. And we know that 2 is less than 4, so if it's 4 or less, you let it rest. So we're not going to do anything to the 3. We're not going to add 1, we're not going to subtract 1. Not going to do anything, we're going to keep it the same. And then this number that's boxed in will again turn into a 0. So as you can see, these two numbers are completely different, but we did end up getting the same estimated answer. And if we add these two numbers, we would get 60. But let's see if we were going to add these two, the original numbers, what we would actually get. And after adding those two numbers, this estimated answer should be very close to it. So adding the original numbers, 27 and 32, we would get 59. So you can see how these two answers are so close to each other. So that's why it's important to actually know how to estimate, so that like in the real world, if you're dealing with money or you're trying to buy clothes, let's say you wanted to buy jeans for $27 and you wanted to buy a dress also for $32, but you didn't know how much that would be off the top of your head because these are more difficult numbers to deal with. But when you round these numbers, they're they're friendly. You're able to do mental math and just do it in your head. So it's very good to know like how to actually estimate, and it can be very helpful. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you later.